You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. Oh.
Yikes.
Come down here. You'll float too. Sorry, I made this really inappropriate in like 2.5 seconds.
Anyways.
He's not gonna have nightmares tonight.
Well, I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out what we're about to review because of this creepy mother over here.
Stephen King's It, son. That movie was.
Boy.
So, thank you guys for tuning in. But to make this all official now, we're going to be reviewing the new adaptation of Stephen King's It, directed by Andy Muschietti, starring Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
No. Nope, do it again. You did it wrong. You said Pennywise correctly.
With Bill Skarsgård playing Pennywise the Dancing Clown, and you are Georgie. Pennywise? Georgie, Pennywise. Now we ain't strangers. So, this whole movie is just, like, quotable, and it's so good. Like, this is...
Don't you want your boat?
Don't you want it back?
Here. Take it.
So, yeah, I'm gonna do the rest of the, Bill!
With a nub?
Bill! He took me down! Alright, so being for real now. We're back. Sorry, it was this. The jokes just keep coming in. So, you'll float. Okay. Sorry. If you guys can't tell, I freaking love this movie. I absolutely.
While I was over there shaking like a leaf, I
was looking at this. This boy was just like in the movie theater, and I'm like, so good, so very good, and he's just like.
Shaking like a leaf.
And he's just like, why do you enjoy this? And I'm like, clowns eating small children is what I live for, Jacob.
I said this during the trailer reaction, but yeah, this movie's the reason why I don't like clowns. So
yeah,
I mean, I saw it a second time, which then like watching it, then I could actually analyze it and enjoy it because I knew where the scares were coming from and stuff like that. So. But let's jump into this thing.
So, to kind of give you guys a brief rundown of Stephen King's I'm going to give you the synopsis of the movie, not the book. But so for the movie, it starts off in 1988, and it takes place in Derry, Maine.
And in October of '88, right?
It's basically, I'm not sure if it's October. But I know it's the fall of '88.
It was September, October, something like that.
I think you're right about that. And so basically, we see that it basically revolves around these group of kids, or the Losers Club, made up of Bill, Ben, Mike, Eddie, Stan, and Beverly.
And you didn't say Richie.
No, I was getting to Richie, and then Richie, who's probably the best character. I mean, they're all really good,
left and right.
He's like, the casting for this movie was just so well done. I thought all the actors, like, because normally for me, I kind of agree, like, kid actors are kind of.
But when you've got when one of your lead guys is on arguably the second or third most popular show right now.
Yeah, I mean, with Stranger Things. I mean, Stranger Things has a huge following, but even more than that, I just think, like, Finn Wolfhard is a great actor. He played Richie Tozier, like, really great. But I liked pretty much. I don't think there was a single thing I didn't like about this movie.
Yeah,
if anything, I would just say I wish that I could have seen more of it. Like, I could have sat there. Like, here's the funny thing though, is that they
get into a lot of supernatural stuff in the book though, like a lot of like out there.
Well, a lot of it's like
stuff.
Almost like sciencey like stuff, because they don't deal with it in the movie, but like in the books, a lot of Stephen King's monsters and creatures come from this place called the Macroverse, and that's where all these evils exist, and they've basically escaped, and they basically they kind of all kind of spread out, and all the stories are connected in some way or another, which is kind of like how they deal with in the Dark Tower.
Yeah, they kind of get into it.
Which they kind of got into that a little bit, but not to stick on Dark Tower. But this movie is just, I mean, for real, like, I would have loved to have watched more of it just because I was so entertained, like, the entire time. But at the same time, I felt like it was a perfect length. Like, it wasn't too long and it wasn't too short. Like,
and
it
they
was
left
just
it
enough.
very, very open-ended for.
Well, I mean, they kind of have to.
I mean, they have to, but like, do we know when's it scheduled to come out?
I believe they said 2019. I think they said we're not gonna have to wait. Like, we're not gonna have to wait a while. Like, they're gonna just jump right in next year, and they're gonna go right now. And I think they're in the process of securing Andy Muschietti, who's the director, to come back. Obviously,
you would think they would
get Bill Skarsgård to come back as Pennywise.
You would think they would have already signed both of them on.
Like, I feel like they probably are, kind of like how they had Daniel Craig. Now that he's confirmed to return as James Bond, he even admitted that he was like, he's been signed on for a while, but they just made the announcement. I can almost guarantee you that Andy Muschietti is going to return, and that and obviously you're not going to have, I'm pretty sure Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise in the film, I'm pretty sure he was like, okay, I know that there's the adult part because he did his research, so he's gonna be like, of course I'll come back for that. And so
to segue into Pennywise, I wanted to I would have to say, if I watched this version of the movie when I was a kid, nope.
The original 1990 miniseries was bad enough, and that was actually, when I watch it now, super cheesy, super melodramatic.
I want to watch it now to see if it has any effect on me. But
well, here's what we're gonna do. I just noticed they actually have it on sale on the Xbox Store where you can buy it in HD.
Ooh,
so I think it's on sale for like $8.99 on the Xbox Store right now in HD, like boosted up. So I'm actually gonna buy it, and we're gonna put it on here, and we'll watch it, and we'll do a review to kind of bring up that as well.
But to my point, this version of Pennywise, not even and I mean this quite literally. This version of Pennywise would eat Tim Curry's Pennywise. Literally would eat him for breakfast.
Oh yeah,
like, it's not even close.
Well, because here's the thing: this Pennywise, he makes jokes and jabs in terms of like, but they're super sinister. Like the jokes that Tim Curry made, and this is not a dig against Tim Curry, because Tim Curry is like
he played a very good Pennywise.
He's one of the best English actors still alive, and so I feel like Tim Curry's, when you look at his performance, that's still creepy. Like, if I saw Tim Curry, like, at that age, at Pennywise, like, on the side of the street with a balloon, I would still be like, I'd be creeped out. I would be like, no, I'm staying in my car. No, bye.
Bye-bye.
But, no, just go back to this movie. Bill Skarsgård, I feel like I think he did really well. I feel like he pulled a Heath Ledger, and that he played a really good Pennywise. But he didn't stay in the shadow of like, kind of like how Heath Ledger kind of made his own thing. Yeah. I feel like Bill Skarsgård did the same thing and didn't stay in the shadow.
That he did with his eyes.
Oh yeah, that was
like
creepy.
That, like some of the his mannerisms. How you said it when we were going to get food. How when he's got, God, what's his name? The kid he traps behind the house.
Eddie.
He traps Eddie behind the house, and he's talking to him, and he's just got this blank, just emotionless, just, I don't know how to describe it. He just has.
Well, he's able to like separate his eyes and look in different directions, and like he can look straight on and separate. He can look down and do it.
It's so weird.
But the way he can do his, and also the way he does his smile. Like he actually talked about in an interview when he's promoting this movie, is that he was even saying that it's a very rare thing that like a lot of people can't do, but he's able to contort his face to where he's able to elongate his smile downwards and sideways while also doing that curl with his upper lip. And I was just like, that is freaking like creepy as hell. Like just so, but anyway, so I thought this movie, and I mean this completely sincerely, this movie isn't just a great horror film, it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Like it's just the way it's shot, the way they build up the tension, the fact that this movie actually has character development, and like every single character in this movie has character development.
Well, I mean,
like,
because they have to literally face their fears to be able to defeat Pennywise.
well, even then, like if you look at the original 1990 miniseries, like I'll admit this to you guys as a fan of that movie or miniseries. I feel like the kids section of the miniseries was done better than the adults. I feel like when they went to their adult segments, nothing against the actors, but like just the way they kind of like they didn't really go forward with any of their character development. I felt like the adults were playing they were playing the kids, and we didn't really like transition and see like this huge amount of growth. It was kind of like they were all the same character. And so what I liked about this one, though, is that we saw the characters start off at the beginning one way, and then at the end, every single one of them, and we're going to go into spoilers, like just fair warning now. And then, we're going to go into spoilers. This movie's been out now for almost a week. Like
almost 2.
No, it only came out last Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
So it's only been out for like, it'll be, a week.
So
tomorrow.
We're officially getting into spoiler territory here.
So if you don't want to check out and then come back and watch our review when you're done.
If you come with us,
you'll float too.
You'll float too.
You'll float too.
But
you'll float too. You'll float too.
It was so creepy. That part was creepy.
The whole movie, like even when there was no people, like not no people, but like no Pennywise. Like even then, the movie was just like the adults were like they captured the spirit of this book so
that's why I was kind of shaking like a leaf the whole time, because I didn't know
everything made you so uneasy.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, is there something else that's gonna pop out in the next 5 seconds? Is someone gonna get killed? Is what's gonna happen? So it was, and to me, like, the thing that really creeped me out was when Bev was helping the guys get medical supplies or whatever.
Oh, you talking about the pharmacist?
And the pharmacist is just like,
you look like Lois Lane with those glasses.
Like, just creepy. Like,
well, all the adults were really creepy. I mean, what was great though is that like not only was Pennywise scary, like he was terrifying. Like his creature form was freaky. I'm gonna jump back to the beginning in just a second, but like I felt like all the things that Pennywise used to scare the kids of their individual fears, like Stan, the lady from the painting, with her needle teeth.
Something I'm thinking, I'm like, why would you have a painting like that in a?
God, that's so weird.
In a Jewish. Is it called a church? Or like what's?
Oh no, a synagogue.
Sorry.
But yeah, so like,
why would you have a painting like that in a Jewish synagogue? That makes sense.
Like, that it's sense. Like it's a creepy contorted woman with like needle teeth. I'm like, that's creepy. Like, I'm like, maybe that actually wasn't meant to be the painting, and that maybe he just uses the painting to kind of reach out and scare Stan. But like the painting for Stan, the fact that Richie's afraid of clowns. We use with Ben with Ben having the kid with the eggs for the Easter egg thing, where there's all in the library when they gets led down to the basement to the archives.
Egg boy.
A bit. Billy boy. Sorry, I had to channel my inner Tim Curry right there, but so Ben with the Easter egg, like the headless kid, how it zoomed in and it was just like a kid's head in the tree.
I remember.
I was like, oh no.
I remember you were saying like this is gonna be the leper, and I remember when they got to that part with Eddie. I'm just thinking, Daryl, you want to shoot this thing with a crossbow?
Right, I was like, when are we just gonna have a Walking Dead crossover?
Like, no, that thing actually, to me, it didn't look like a leper. It didn't look like a leper.
Well, the clothing was total like hobo-ish.
Well, that and like that part. I'm sorry, that's out of The Walking Dead. Like that sounded.
I guarantee you they kind of took some inspiration from that. For sure, they did. But
like how you were saying, every kid had their own fears, and I really liked how not only that Pennywise played on their fears very well, but also how they overcame said fears. But we'll get into that here in a second.
I will say one of my things that I knew once I saw this scene, which it's at the very beginning, and gonna go into spoilers about it, like I said, but I knew when they talked about this movie and they first announced that this was coming out and that then they were actually gonna do a hard R, like full on,
and when they say hard
gore
R,
and violence.
When they say hard R, they meant it. That was a
I was just like. I was like, okay, so I was like, so how is it gonna like? Yeah, I was like, how? I'm like, how much are they gonna push this R? I said,
oh, they pushed the crap out of it.
So we don't get certain elements from the book, which were definitely R rated, but
they were hinted at though, like
they were hinted at for sure. But the way I knew that this movie would be good or not, I was like, is how they handled the Georgie scene. I would say, that movie set the stage for like how the whole movie was going to be.
God,
and when that happened, I was like, oh, this movie's going to be good. I'm going to love this movie.
And something that I enjoyed from Bill Skarsgård, or how do you pronounce his last name?
That's it, Bill Skarsgård.
It's very. I mean, you even see it when he's in the sewer. You see him drooling.
Oh yeah, he's like he's salivating over eating some kids. And I'm like, he's just going.
That's creepy.
He's completely committed to like how much he's. I just like the design, like how the like between the practical effects and the people who did the visual effects, like how they made him look when he like goes into monster form to like eat the kids and whatnot. I'm like, that looks so good. Like, it's not like this just weird, he just magically gets fangs and that's it. Like, no, like his face contorts and like his elongates and he gets like almost like a giant mouth. And I was like, that's so. But anyways, but to go into the Georgie bit, I was like, because that's one of the most iconic scenes in like all of pretty much any one of Stephen King's books. If you ask if you take like one of the top three scenes, it's the Georgie and it's like people who don't even know really much about it know about Pennywise in the sewers with Georgie, and so the fact that they show him like turn into the monster and they show violence against a kid, like they show him biting off his arm. And you see
Georgie try to get away.
Georgie like blood spouting from his arm, like this little kid who's not even like probably 10 years old, and you're watching, and you're basically, I mean, for all intents and purposes, you're watching a child get like murdered, and he's just like, and then get yanked in the sewers, and and the way they shot that to where like now you're watching it going, that like he's now in the sewer, he's getting eaten, like this little kid is getting eaten by a murderous entity that's in the shape of a clown, like, and he's getting. I'm like, that in your head. I'm like, if that doesn't like mess with you a little bit, I'm like. So when they showed that, like the way they did it with the music and the shots and the editing and how like they use the blood and how this kid's just like flailing and like scared and calling out for Bill and like help me, and there's like, and they just pull back and it's like. I was like, dude. Oh my god! I was like, this movie's gonna be so good. Yeah,
and one of my favorite shots from the movie was that next shot when they did that.
Oh, when they did the corkscrew shot and it just turns around.
It was such a beautiful. Like, I'm a film nerd for that kind of stuff because that's what.
Same here.
Like that's what I went to school for. Like,
yeah,
I love. When they do fancy stuff like that with camera work, I like camera work and good transitions, like stuff like that makes me salivate. I love it. But
you probably noticed because for every time that Pennywise showed up, they would do a thing with the, not so much the, like they'd kind of tweak the filter and kind of like mute the colors because, and the only thing that would be like pop was the red from like the balloon or the red in his outfit.
Yeah, they would bring the color down, but keep the
and they do that little bit of a not the static, but like the whole like warped effect where like boom, and now Pennywise is now showed himself. And I'm like, that was such a cool editing show.
To get more towards the end. So basically, towards the end of the movie, Beverly is leaving her apartment to meet the rest of the guys. Her dad sees her leaving and says, "Where are you going? Why are you so pretty up leaving at this hour?" And he brings her in close. And he's super creepy, by the way.
All the adults are creepy. Yeah,
but that
except for like Bill's, except for Bill's dad, like he was kind of like okay.
that vibe between Bevan and her dad.
The fact that they went there, like that was to me like the biggest thing is that
creepy.
Like you basically had like child murder, like you see it several times where you see children get murdered. You see like Betty Ripsom when they go through the door in the Neibolt Street house, and you see Betty Ripsom like torn in half because Betty Ripsom, get it, and she's hanging from like a meat hook that was ripped in half. And I'm they do the hard art. They show childhood murder. They show and basically allude to the fact that Beverly is getting like sexually molested by her father
/ raped, which is creepy.
And then the whole bit with like Henry Bowers, like how he just straight up murders his father and like, you know,
kill him, kill them all, kill them. Creepy.
And then like they fully pushed for what they wanted to do. They did like they took all the risks, and I felt like they all paid off. Like,
and I mean, I really loved the ending fight scene.
Oh, that was so good. Like, because he tries to basically he uses all of their things again. Like he uses this when like Mike tries to attack him with the prod. He turns into the hands from that we're all getting burnt from like to show from like his family getting killed.
And then it goes to that painting's face.
Yep.
Then it goes back to Pennywise. Then it goes back to
for Richie, because he doesn't like clowns.
And then it
turns into the dad.
Then it turns into the dad, which my favorite part was because this is after Beverly kills him. This is like directly after she kills him, and he says, "Aren't you my girl?" And he pink.
Oh, it's not even that. Remember, she like just straight up stabs him with that metal beam.
Mm-hmm.
And just the fact that they all kind of just that's basically the biggest takeaway from that is their character development. Like the fact that, you know, Bill goes from the very beginning when he's totally like, no, you know, Georgie's just missing, like we're gonna find Georgie, and then finally accepting the fact at the end of the movie that Georgie's dead, and that basically now it's all about getting justice for Georgie by eliminating Pennywise, and Beverly with her father, and Richie with his overcoming the clowns, with him going like, you know what? He's like, you made me go into this crack house, and you made me deal with these, you know, it's like deal with like, you know,
deal with all this crap.
Henry Bowers. And he's like, now you're gonna have to make me kill this fucking clown. Like that was so good.
And I liked where they left off because the last scene is them making the blood pact of if he ever comes back, and it starts out with Beverly saying what she saw when she was in comatose. Would that be?
She was in the deadlights.
Yeah, when she was in the deadlights, and she said that she came out and she remembers bits and pieces of them when they're older.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. And I think, did you say something about fighting it or what? Or because I'm like the last little bit of it for some reason I'm a little fuzzy.
What specifically about
like what she was talking about in the vision?
Oh, well, she's basically like, you know, she sees them like, you know, flash forward, like as adults, kind of like having to get together again, and they're like, well, let's make this blood pact to if it comes back, we'll come back and wreck them. And so they make that blood pact, and I love how the blood pact, it's like you really feel like it feels real, like it feels like these kids really have been through all this, and it's not just acting like.
Okay, if it takes place because the whole movie takes place in 1989.
So George, 27 years from later.
Georgie's killed in 88, but
so it'd be 2016.
So okay. Because I was trying to do the math in my head. I'm like,
because you think about it, if you did 1990 plus 27 years, that'd be
2017.
2017. Yeah, but since they're going from 89, it's gonna be 2016.
All right, because I was trying to figure out when the time jump would be, but
So you're gonna be kind of like where we're at now, basically. I mean, they can kind of more or less. I mean,
let's say they're all
gonna be in their early 40s
because they were freshmen in high school, right?
No, they were definitely like middle school, like 8th grade. Because
I couldn't tell if it was 8th grade or they were.
Remember they said I think Beverly was like 15. I think they said because she was like I think a little bit older than they were.
Yeah.
So she might be like
they're gonna be like
might be freshmen.
Yeah,
they're
gonna be like
high school.
Yeah, they're gonna be in their like mid to early
40s. They said.
So
because Ben was the one that pointed that out. Ben was like when they were sitting there talking about it, saying like every 27 years, he's like. If we had to come back, he's like I'd be 40. So you can just take 40 minus 27 and you can figure out basically all their age range.
But I mean, like you've been saying this whole time, this was a great movie. This was a very good movie.
What I think a lot of horror films, which I like, which I'll say this one last thing before we wrap up, is that one problem I've had with horror films in general and the horror genre is that most horror films, they just rely on jump scares. They rely on just like
they're very cookie cutter.
Yeah, they're all like you can basically copy and paste like all these different movies, like a lot of bits with like Paranormal Activity, Annabelle,
like all the previews we saw was just like none of these really scare me. They're literally the same formula.
Right, and so like the fact that you had a scary movie that would like to me, if you took out the clown and you just had like it would be this drama about these kids dealing with the struggles of growing up and dealing with like the harshness of their home lives and the losing of their youth, but then you add the clown and you add Pennywise and you add the whole sinister elements and it becomes like this awesome horror drama where you blend like these dark themes with adolescence and whatnot. It's like two things that kind of like you'd never want to put adolescence and horror together, but when they mesh, it works so well. Yeah. So, give your last bits, like any last things you want to have.
I mean, I can't wait till 2018. I mean, or 2019. But I mean, it was good. I mean, and this is coming from a guy who isn't really a horror fan, but I mean, I liked it. I really did, and I mean. I really can't wait to see what they're going to do for Chapter 2 or Part 2 or whatever they're going to call it.
I think their best bit, and this was just me, I was just thinking about this, I think instead of like calling it like It Chapter 2 or It Returns, I think they should call it Pennywise. They should call the movie Pennywise. And I feel like, kind of like how they did with like Logan, how it wasn't X-Men or anything like that, it was just Logan, but you knew that it was like, oh, this is Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like if you just had, now that we know Pennywise, if you just put Pennywise,
it would,
and like maybe you can put like It, like the red letters of It, like kind of in the background of the logo or something like that,
or have Pennywise like
or his face or something like his eyes. That would be spectacular. I felt like that'd be such a clever move. If you're listening, Warner Brothers, you're welcome. I won't just do something clever with the title. But anyways,
just give credit to Injustice Nerds when you do it. Ask.
I mean that's fair. But for real, guys. I would recommend go see this movie. I want to go see it in the theaters again. It's that good. I'm definitely gonna buy it when it comes out on home release, and we definitely I think it's fair to say we'll definitely be doing a review of the classic 1990s miniseries. So, anyways, that's it. Anything you want to add?
That's it.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning into our It review. So, see you guys later. that's all for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching.
And be sure to like this video and subscribe.
And click the link in the description below to follow us on social media.
See you guys next time.